In Pill for Everything news, submitted by Timmy Turner, scientists are working on a pill for loneliness.
So you mean you take the pill and then you get imaginary friends?
That'd be cool.
Isn't that called ecstasy?
I was thinking like the pill is your friend or LSD.
Oh.
You're such a, hey there, buddy.
What if you step on it and it turns into powder?
I mean, don't step on your friends.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
Damn it. We're
Can't
not-
step on your friends to get ahead.
Or you put it in water and it becomes a big fluffy dinosaur.
Oh, I remember those.
The sea monkeys?
Towels. Yeah.
No, the sea monkeys are the little shrimp, the brine
the
shrimp.
brine
Yeah,
shrimp.
these are like just
Yeah.
little things. Remember you put them in water and then it would just turn into like
It was like a
little-
dinosaur.
Yeah.
meat.
Ow.
Yeah?
I didn't like the texture of it after it turned big though.
Yeah,
It was all like
it was weird.
And it was
slimy
never
and
as big
gross.
as you thought.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was gonna be
Story
like
of my
big.
life.
Nice.
Very good, very good.
So what happened?
All right.
Bart's like,
Damn. Hey, it's not the size of the boat, okay? It's the size
Give
of
me
the
a pep
dick.
talk.
It's the size of the dick.
Wait, it is the size of the dick? That's the worst pep talk in the world.
All right.
I thought it was supposed to be how you use it.
No. It's definitely the size.
Yeah, misdirection, yeah.
yeah. It's not the size of the boat. It's how much you come. That's why Taika's really strong.
Oh, I come a good amount,
You do.
right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I've heard
Go
that.
to his channel. It's there. Go to his channel. There's a video.
We were having
When
dinner
he
with
busted,
them.
yeah, we were all having dinner, and this is the conversation. He busted in my mouth, and there was so much cum that I was like, and then a little bit came out because I couldn't hold it all in.
Yeah, and then Taika was like, whoa.
Yeah.
He was sitting right next to you guys.
Yeah, it's so cute.
He was younger than he is now, so he really didn't know what was going on.
Watch that vlog on my vlog
he said that?
channel.
He said
Yeah,
what?
it was funny.
I literally pan to him and he goes, "Wow."
That's funny.
Mama took a lot of cum.
All right, so this story here, Dr. Stephanie Cacioppo. Sorry.
Damn, I'm greasy.
Okay, so she is a director. You're greasy?
Sorry.
What is happening?
He's greasy.
We almost know how greasy he
Dr.
is.
He's like, I'm greasy. Like, it's so
Dr. Stephanie Cacioppo.
okay.
There, I did it better the second time. So she's a director of the Brain Dynamics Lab at the University of Chicago Pritzker School of Medicine.
Sounds like a fake skill.
Yeah.
So her and her husband have been researching loneliness and like the way it affects your brain, like how your brain changes when you're feeling lonely. And so she says that so recently her husband passed.
Oh, and she got
so-
lonely.
Yeah, so she was saying like, I'm the best example of like, I'm living proof of the research that we've been conducting throughout all these years. So she said that she disagrees when people, they end up associating loneliness being, or like physical pain being worse than what loneliness feels. Cause she was like, honestly,
I don't think so.
my physical pain could be like surpassed, but it's still not as much as my loneliness. So she totally gets it now that her husband has passed. And so anyway, so she's saying that all their research together, that she and her husband were working on creating a pill that can reduce the alarm signals in the brain that can result from people feeling lonely to make them better equipped to reach outwards rather than falling inwards into social isolation.
Wait, her and her husband were working on this pill to get rid of loneliness, and then he died, and now she's lonely?
Yeah. I know the irony, right?
Dang.
What a great story. This could be a movie.
Yeah.
Cause that's like a superhero's like motivation, like I was gonna do this and then like somebody died and then like I gotta do something now.
They studied. Yeah, so her husband was a neuroscientist who studied social pain.
Social pain.
Yeah. so
Dang.
That shit is real, man.
he actually had a book called Loneliness.
They were some lonely motherfuckers,
You
weren't
know,
they?
lonely people do read.
So they're saying that.
They read a lot because they ain't got people to talk to.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna figure it out by reading all those books?
But nope.
No, I mean, I'm talking about a friend of mine.
You remind me of that kid from that fucking never-ending story where he's like, wow,
In
and
the
then like
library.
he's in the fucking flying dog and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, what was that thing?
never ending story.
Yeah.
I just know what it is. But like, was it a?
It was a dog.
It was an actual dog.
Dog dragon.
Yeah, that. I thought it was a dragon.
I don't know.
No, it was a dog.
Just a dog. A flying dog.
He was a
flying
big dog, though.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyway, so here they're saying that loneliness elevates the risk of developing a range of disorders, including cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative disease, cognitive decline, and metastatic cancer. And it also weakens the immune system, making us more susceptible to infections. And if it's left unattended, even situational loneliness can ossify into a fixed state that changes brain structure and processes.
Man, humans are so social.
Because it sounds like the same shit that you go through when you're depressed. Like, what's the difference?
I think loneliness can trigger depression.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like the same symptom.
It's a symptom. Of
It's
depression.
similar symptoms, but but loneliness, like you said, it can trigger depression, and they've even done this study with animals. So they'll take like monkeys who are used to being in a social group, and they put them by themselves, and then just by them being by themselves and not having an interaction with other monkeys, their cortisol levels go high, and then they start having heart problems, lung problems, they get ulcers, just like all kinds, and you just see this monkey just deteriorate. And the minute they put him back with his friends, like this guy slowly starts to recover again. Even hair quality.
Yeah,
You
everything.
know who don't give a fuck? Snakes. They don't give a fuck.
They don't give, nah, they be chilling.
I think I could handle loneliness over loss, though. Like 'cause-
Loss hurts.
Yeah, because that's like your husband died, so like you had a partner and you weren't lonely, and then now you know what it feels like, and then you lost it.
And
That hurts
temporary
way more.
loneliness is different from chronic loneliness.
Yeah, they're talking more here about like chronic.
Like you've been lonely. You're a loner.
that-
Maybe you shouldn't have such a bad personality.
So they're saying that unlike
Introverted.
Not you.
Maybe everyone bullied you.
You just lived in the wrong
Talking about my
neighborhood,
friend.
girl. You
I'm
would have
talking
been.
about my friend.
You would have easily had friends if you grew up where we did.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so like just to play devil's advocate and shit, like
Play that shit.
Play it.
part of me feels like
It's your fault if you're lonely because you're an ass.
no, not that. I was gonna say, I mean, what if they weren't spending all this time, you know, what if we took a break from spending all this time working on this pill and actually, you know, like just went and played checkers with her friend? Wouldn't that cure loneliness too?
Well, it's not her loneliness. She's a researcher, so she's.
To play checkers with Tim.
No. The pill helps them go play.
Yeah.
Oh, so it puts you more in a mood that makes you want to go be social. Oh, I see.
It's not the remedy for it, but it's the motivator.
Yeah, so it's to relieve the severe symptoms like that happen, like because your brain changes chemically, like when you are experiencing loneliness.
I mean,
So they're
typically
saying
when
that-
people are in a depressed state, what ends up happening is they do things to make them even more depressed instead of the opposite, and that's why they're in a depressed state because everyone's like, oh, why don't you just
spiral.
call up?
Right,
yeah,
right,
why don't you
right.
do this? It's like that. Their mind's just in that state.
Yeah, you can't even
where-
take that first step
Yeah,
yet. 'cause
I see,
it's
I see.
It
so-
goes into more depression. So I think it's the same case of loneliness, right? Like they're not reaching out, they're not going out, they can't be proactive, they can't do anything on their own.
Yeah.
And they're researchers, so they're not lonely. They're studying lonely people and practicing on lonely people.
Right.
So they have.
She's lonely.
She's lonely now because her husband died.
She was lonely now, but before it was like studying like hundreds or thousands of other lonely people with her husband.
And she's not chronically lonely.
I'm so lonely.
They're saying that unlike depression and anxiety, loneliness has no recognized clinical form, and there's no available diagnosis or treatment for feeling chronically isolated. So that's why, like, they've been researching this, and so she had trials where they used a certain type of steroid to relieve the social isolation symptoms. And they found that it did counteract loneliness-inspired biological changes in the brain, but it was without the side effects of other antidepressants such as insomnia and nausea. So,
Oh, cool.
like, hopefully her research.
I'm curious because sometimes you can feel more lonely in a group of people than when you're alone.
So you know what they're saying? So the loneliness aspect of it is because people don't feel like they have a purpose in life, like a sense of purpose, or like they're not
or
really
connection.
they're not connected to something bigger than themselves. So some of the ways to combat the feeling of loneliness is to go like volunteer in an organization or in some type of movement or even a religious group, and it gives you a sense of taking part in something larger than yourself.
Yeah, join a cult or something. Do something productive.
As long as you
That's
feel
why
like you
people do it.
belong. Yeah. No, I got that.
I think the need for humans to belong is so fucking important.
Right.
That sometimes people just fucking do it because of the group, not because of any other reason. Like, yeah.
If you guys jump off a bridge, I'm jumping too.
Can I have the password to your channels?
You know what's crazy? I was thinking like how, all right, if we were like hunter-gatherers, right? And it's like, if you're lonely or it's hard to be lonely because you'll be in your hut and we'll be like, hey, why are you always in your hut? Let's go fucking fish. You see each other every day.
we
There's
need to
no,
eat.
you see, there's no way out of it, right? But today it's so fucking easy to be in a big city full of people, but you have your apartment, you just go to work, you come back or whatever, and you feel so alone with all kinds of people around you 24/7.
Right.
Yeah, because you know what's happening too. They're talking about it in this article where nowadays, like the more society progresses, like with technology, the less we have to interact face to face. So
Yeah.
now instead of like, you know, if you're waiting for a friend at a restaurant, instead of making small talk with strangers, you immediately just pull out your cell phone. That's easier rather than having human interaction
Right.
with people. So it's making loneliness become an epidemic, according to this researcher.
It's just easier to be lonely.
Yeah,
Yeah, they make it convenient.
I believe it.
Yeah.
It's easier than trying to talk to somebody and risk them being like, dude,
Awkwardness.
Yeah, get on my
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Unless you're sitting at the bar, then everybody's like down to talk.
Yeah, because they're
You know what's
drunk.
crazy? They're saying that at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland last month, world leaders were told that 40% of those under the age of 25 globally say that they feel lonely.
Wait, how much percent?
40, almost half.
Half of the world is lonely?
This is an
People under-
epidemic.
Under 25.
You did?
Oh,
Yeah,
under
it's an
25?
epidemic.
Yeah, people under 25.
Under 25.
That makes sense because that's the time where you're like you haven't really found your purpose or like your
That's true.
like your path yet. You're kind of just still figuring it out.
And you feel like you're supposed to have it figured out,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
don't. And you're like, who am I? What am I doing with my life? Yeah.
I don't think I ever felt lonely.
No. Yeah, I mean, but we're special, bro. We're different.
And you guys are extroverts.
No, well, because I like being alone sometimes.
I like
but
being
then
alone.
Alone, it doesn't make me feel lonely.
Yes.
Same.
That's what I was saying. Like, I feel like more lonely in a group of people sometimes than I do at home because in a
Like
group of
left out?
Yeah, like in a group of people, sometimes it feels like they all know what they're doing and they all like have their thing and they all can just like. Do
I feel
their
like
thing.
you're an
And
expert on loneliness. How does that feel like?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She's talking about her
Yeah,
friends.
it's about my friend, but my friend would like.
You got a lot of friends.
Way
man.
more fulfilled at home alone because there's like activities to do that you don't feel lonely in, but then you're around a group of people and it's like, oh, they're all gelling and you're like over here and you're
Oh,
like,
really
you feel
crazy?
more.
Because for me, in those situations, I end up feeling like I want to learn and be part of the group instead of feeling like, damn, I'm over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, if I'm in a group situation where I don't know what's happening, I'm just like, hey, I'll pull one of them and be like, hey, how do we do this thing that everyone's doing? Because I don't know what's happening. Do you know what's happening? And
Yeah.
then once I find out that they're like, I don't know either, I'm just following everyone, I'm like, cool, I feel
I think that comes
better.
with becoming more secure with yourself. So if you're not used to being around people and then you're around people, it's like, oh, I don't know what to do with my hands and stuff. And then after a while, then you become more, oh, this is how it works and operates. But if you're used to spending a lot of time alone, sometimes you could feel more lonely if you're in a group.
Your friend's a loser, dude.
I know. She's not my friend anymore. I don't.
I want to feel lonely.
Because you've never felt it?
Yeah, I want to feel it.